welcome to Big Storm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
Hello. How's it going, Trevor?
Pretty good.
That's good. What are we doing this week?
Let's just go back to some classic click pitch, single word, see how it goes. Get a word each, throw them at each other.
Get a word
come up with a game design.
Yeah. A game word. That's it. Cool. Well, that kind of explained the game well enough, I think. So I think let's just jump right in.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, click. Arson.
Ballooning.
Ooh.
So, okay, there's some interesting stuff here around, like, hot air balloons and setting fires to, like...
To be able to go
updrafts. Dropping napalm or something from balloons to then alter your kind of ability to traverse areas.
Okay, I like this. This is kind of like a not single screen, but I think sort of scrolling, sort of like some of the older style games where it's like single screens, but then you go on to the next screen. You got a new puzzle to work out, and some of the things are okay. This time you're in a hot air balloon trying to get across this thing, and you're throwing down arson.
Okay, so it's not
napalm.
It's not all just you moving the balloon from one screen to the other. Each has a different sort of puzzle that's
different
like
puzzly things that have
almost a bit of like Incredible Machine or something where you're like, but you're traversing a space.
Yeah. And, it's sort of like around the world in 80 days sort of things where you're basically doing all these puzzles to try and get yourself around the world.
Okay, that's cool. So you're maybe in different vehicles each time, or even just, I suppose, on foot, but it's getting through that section. Yeah, I like that. I'm picturing that, setting things on fire is just one of your tools at your disposal, and we have a lot of systems in place there of like the fire propagation, and it creates updrafts, and I don't know, if you set a fire near water, it starts evaporating and then condenses at the top, and like almost a bit of like those sand, those sand games, those pixel games with the different cellular automata kind of rules around them. But yeah, it's all about then solving these puzzles to get through the space. So what other tools then could we kind of have at our disposal?
I know. I do like the idea of it just being things that can affect like the world.
Yeah.
Rather than, something like bolt cutters or anything like that. You got nothing that sort of does a specific thing, but it's more.
Yeah, it's more looking at the sort of resources you have in front of you and seeing where you can put a few key changes to set off the right chain reaction to, burn down that forest. That's we keep going back to burning. Like there are other things we can do, but or flood that pit so you can get into the boat and get across in your canoe or whatever.
Yep. Ooh, I kind of like the idea of you've got like a bucket or something like that you can sort of put that if it tips over in the right way, it'll, knock something else down and
I think
Rube Goldberg it.
Yeah, Rube Goldberg kind of things. I'm also wondering now, just to start mixing things up, as you get further into the game, because it's a race, right? You're racing around the world in 80 days. Your opponents start like trying to sabotage you, and those become parts of the puzzles as well. So it's like this level, there's literally like a fucking sniper on a hill, and you have to do something to like prevent his vision, or like you have to create a huge steam cloud or whatever it is, at the right time as you're moving through the space so that you can't get a shot off. Or
I kind of like the idea that you've got like a laser pointer that you can use and happen to get him right in the eye and blind him for at least a small amount of time. So
that's actually the solution to all of the enemies. It's just blind them with a laser.
In fact, everything is laser based, including the fire. You've just got to like put it through a prism.
It's actually, that's your only tool is actually the laser. But then, as it reacts and combines with other things in the world, it creates different effects.
Yeah, so use laser on prism. Okay, focused it down and created a forest fire.
Treating it like it's a LucasArts adventure game or something.
But all you've got is laser. You
still have to click use and laser every time. You only got one thing in you've got a full inventory that has one thing in it.
You can scroll down. There's like different lasers. Like,
oh right, you've got your different coloured and powered lasers, or is it purely decorative?
I know. Well, every single time it just says use laser.
Unlock a new skin for your laser pointer. A wrap.
Use laser on lock. It's illuminated it.
This is not a very powerful laser. It's just a light.
Use laser on laser. You've doubled the laser power of this laser.
That's the way you get more powerful lasers, is you just find other lasers and combine them in your inventory. And somehow that makes a more powerful laser every time. So that you can start setting fires and bursting balloons and evaporating water.
Well, how else do you get down? Like you create a forest fire to go up. To go down, you have to create holes in the balloon. The balloon. and then when you need to go up again, you have to like find a material to then seal it up with the laser. Like exactly.
Heat up the edges and seal it back out. You need more balloon material.
Yeah, you need more tarps.
You just find a tarp and just melt it on.
Use laser on tarp. Use tarp on balloon.
So the only thing in the environment is tarps, and the only thing in your inventory is a laser, and you just have to figure it out. Some tarps will pick up water, some tarps will put out fires, some tarps will like fix your balloon, but it's just lasers and tarps.
It's when you have to create a ladder out of a tarp that you realize, wow, this really has legs.
You just like laser holes into it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
For steps.
and then you melt it down so it's like hard for the rungs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's a whole little mini game of like you have to draw with the mouse or with the controller to like laser at the right points.
But really, you don't want to cut that whole hole. What you want to actually do is you want to cut down the middle and then sort of cut slits on the side so that you can actually use that to melt into the rung.
Yeah. Well, it's a full-on cloth sim that we've got in there, so...
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click, because actually, that's just gone weird.
Yeah, I think we should move on. I just remembered that I had a game to pitch, actually.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Yeah.
Let's put 3, 2, 1, click on hold for a second then. And Ben,
we'll 3, 2, 1 pitch.
3, 2, 1 pitch your game.
Yeah, so this is not I did not go particularly deep on this idea.
For reasons.
It might not go anywhere. But my idea was like those kind of colony sims, I guess, like a bit of a any game where you're cutting down wood to build build your buildings, and then you need to mine coal, and you're building up your little economy and stuff.
Yeah, and then you've of course got the firefighters that have to deal with the arsonist, and they've got to
and they've all got lasers and But in this case,
just the usual.
But in this case, what I was thinking is that everyone is a vampire.
Okay, cool. Yep.
And the way that you have to give skills, like in other games, you might just say, okay, now you're a woodcutter, go and cut wood. Now you're a coal miner, go and cut coal.
No, you got to drink their blood so that you...
Yes, the only way to like give someone a skill is to have them drink the blood of someone else who has that skill. And if you can multi-skill people, then you can like have them drink 2 people's blood and they'll have both those skills, but they'll only do them like half as well, potentially.
Half as well.
And you can't undo it then, right? So that was kind of the bit that appealed to me was, oh, you've just made this person a woodcutter. They're a woodcutter forever now. It's literally in their blood.
Yes. Until they get completely exsanguinated and then they like turn into dust.
There may be a way back. Well, that's it. It might just be that they become somewhat expendable at some point and you have to create new vampires, and that's part of it as well, is like how do you bring new vampires into your little colony?
Kind of thinking about how V Rising did it, where, you kept that certain thing in while that blood was still circulating within your body. But
I see. Interesting.
When you don't have that much in anymore, you have to restock.
Well, that could work, but I think it needs to be over a longer period of time, because I think there needs to be some consequences for the choices you make of who's drinking whose blood in this little colony. It's very incestuous, because everyone's just drinking each other's blood to get their skills. But
so what if, like the town itself, like, is sort of autonomous, and you have control over your vampire brood, that you're wanting to help this town get better. There are obviously some woodcutters and miners and stuff like that out there, but they're obviously very weak because they're only human. But if you bring your vampire,
okay, adds an interesting little aspect, because maybe it's that, yes, there's this town. Maybe it actually starts with you as a vampire coming into this town that's already somewhat established at the very early days, but they've got a few woodcutters, because that's then your source of skills, right?
Exactly. And if you drain them,
you can either take their skills,
they could be gone,
potentially transfer that into someone else via your own sort of blood transfusion abilities, or you can turn one of them to become a vampire. But that might come with some downsides as well. Well, they can only work at night. Yep. But if you just transfuse some blood into a human, gives them those skills, but they're still human. And that's sort of the way that you can potentially pass those skills on between different humans.
I do like the idea that, as your vampires, they do drink the human's blood and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes, like, if you haven't been feeding them well enough, they may just go and attack the next human that they happen to see, because they're so thirsty, which can cause panic and all this sort of stuff. But it also brings in whatever skills that person happened to have, which dilutes dilutes the vampire's talent pool. Because I like the idea of, if you keep them as they only drink woodcutter blood, then they are the best woodcutter out there. But if they've drunk, for the last, say, 7 times woodcutter, but now you're giving them some blacksmith blood, then all of a sudden, they've permanently lost some of the woodcutting potential.
Exactly. So, yes, you could go have them work at the blacksmith for a bit, but they're not going to work as well there either as a pure blacksmith. So you gain the flexibility when that happens, but you lose the efficacy, the potential. I kind of like this even as, because I think that maybe you're playing the head vampire, and it's almost like a third person kind of deal. It's not the sort of the top down that you might have you might be able to go up to that view. But as you're
the main thing
around,
is that you're telling your vampire brood,
you're giving them commands, or you're personally transfusing blood around, and maybe you've got a special ability, like your abilities can't be diluted, or they don't stick. The abilities don't stick with you. You're almost a vessel for them to then pass them on to others, whether you turn them into vampires or just pass them the blood. But everyone else is autonomous. They're all AI driven. You can command, as I said, you can command the vampires. You can't command the humans. Maybe they just do their job. If they've got particular skills, they'll decide, oh, there's trees that need cutting, so I'll go cut trees or whatever. And then a lot of it is then just the usual sort of management of a game like that, balancing out your economy and the way, making sure you've got enough food and wood and everything to expand.
Enough blood in the bank.
Yeah, that's it. At a certain point, you can build a blood bank, and humans can donate, or
I kind of like the idea that it's one of those things of come in and donate your blood, because obviously when surgeries take place, we need to make sure that there's plenty of blood on hand.
Well, I think even it may just be that this is a town where vampires and humans actually live in harmony to a degree. The humans
because they've both got a hatred against werewolves.
Oh yeah, the werewolf. That's where
Frankenstein's?
that's where like combat comes in. Like you get to a point and you start getting werewolf and Frankenstein attacks for sure. Yeah.
It's really bad when the Invisible Man attacks.
Luckily, it's just Frankenstein and not Frankenstein's monster who attacks. So it's just like a weedy little scientist. He dies pretty quickly.
Yeah. He does try to take body parts, though.
Yeah, he comes to try to steal body parts. Exactly.
I know. I really like this idea of.
I thought it was just a fun, interesting twist on a standard like colony builder to have some different sort of decisions that you had to make there, and that permanence of jobs is fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm just imagining sort of like maybe the person who runs the blood bank, obviously they've got to be a vampire. I'm just thinking that maybe they've got to drink from a tax collector because, that's
to get the accounting skills.
Yeah. It's the best way to make sure that, everything's accounted for and,
Yeah, maybe you have to advertise at certain points for jobs that you don't have yet to bring in an influx of humans into your town, so that you can then start spreading their skills throughout your people.
And maybe it ends up being that, keeping that level of how many vampires versus how many humans, because
if you have too few humans, then the vampires have to start drinking more human blood every time they feed. This is maybe before you've got the blood bank, because I'm picturing at that point they're just feeding when they need to, but they don't take too much, right? And the humans are okay with it. It's just part of living in this town. But yes, if there's too few humans, then there's the chance that they'll just start bleeding them dry and actually kill them, and then you'll lose even more humans, and you end up into a bit of a negative feedback cycle.
But if there's too many humans, then they start thinking about, then vampires aren't real, and they get scared when they actually see vampires. Because
potentially. But there's also just the balance of if there's too many humans, maybe it means that the skill blood can't go as far, and you have more mouths to feed. So, like, just from an economic perspective, you have to balance that.
Because then you got farmers.
You still have to be farming food and making food for the humans. The vampires just need blood. So you can balance this, like, oh shit, like we don't have enough food to feed all these humans. Let's just
convert a whole heap
of them. We're going to convert into vampires, and they don't need to eat food anymore.
But they need to eat humans. Okay, so can we get a human farm over here?
Oh my god, a human farm! You've definitely got like nurseries or something to like build the human population. Definitely.
Oh yeah, like I can imagine, the vampires browsing the daycare.
No, they don't eat the babies.
No, they don't eat babies. They just suck their blood.
No, they don't. No, they don't feed on the babies.
Okay, toddlers.
The children run around. The children run around like they idolize the like they want to be a vampire when they grow up. It's this sort of they're like the interesting, cool people in the town. They run around. The kids run around with capes and teeth.
So I'm just wondering how the storylets would actually work with, because I'm imagining Murray the vampire was originally married to like Philippa.
Yep.
And they had a kid, and then he got converted into a vampire.
The kid did?
So, no.
Murray did.
Murray did.
I mean, with a name like Murray, you got to be a vampire.
100%. But obviously Philippa never got converted either. So, so you got that whole thing of, she's really annoyed that he's out every night,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Working and sleeps all day, doesn't sleep in the same bed anymore because he sleeps in a coffin.
Yeah. They never see each other anymore because she has to work during the day and he has to work at night.
Yeah. And so just imagining, some of the emergent stories that could come out of that.
Yeah, I like that. As we often do, I think storylets would be a good fit there for just, here's a situation that's popped up in the town just through your own actions that, yes, you converted Mari into a vampire, and in their little household, there's, his wife is not a vampire. That brings up the opportunities for those sorts of stories then. And you can do that for all sorts, like different housing situations, different job situations with combinations of vampires and not.
Yeah.
Triggered by different states in the world as well, like of the balance between vampires and humans and how hungry they are. Yeah, all that sort of thing can definitely lead to like, even if it's just the sort of little pop-up things that come up sometimes in those games of like, here's a situation between these people that are physically in your town. Like, how do you solve it? Well, like you have to make a decision or something.
Murray's been caught, trying to collect all the things for the ritual to convert Philippa and Edward, their son to vampires. And it's like, hang on, that's not allowed. I didn't agree to that.
Authorize that turning.
Exactly. Because it turns out that you're the only one who can do that. Like,
right.
It's your blood.
He's stolen some of your blood and he's trying to reverse engineer
He
the
was
turning
sneaking
ritual.
around with a syringe.
Yeah, I love it.
That's really cool. Okay. 3 to 1 click.
Yeah. Ooh, neon.
Loincloth.
Neon loincloth. It's a cyberpunk Tarzan or something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
I was trying to think of any other situation where a loincloth makes sense, but yeah.
Cyberpunk Neanderthals. Like,
well, I kind of like cyberpunk, like swinging through a cyberpunk city. You've got your like, you call it the vine, but it's like a grappling hook sort of thing.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. I like it. Is it kind of Bionic Commando like, as in it's attached, like it's part of your body?
Yeah. What does V.I.N.E stand for in this case?
Virtual.
I
was going to say very
virtual inertia. Nano experiment. There you go. So you've got your vine, and that lets you, like swing around this neon bathed cyberpunk.
Either experiment or extension. Extension.
Kind of extension's good. Inertia, nano extension. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm loving it. It's.
So do we take aspects of the Tarzan story though, or is that as far as we go? Do you you wear a loincloth?
I think it's sort of like a cyberpunk hero where you literally wear a loincloth and like swing around a la, sexy Spider-Man, in cyberpunk world.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining all the different enhancements that some of the people around here have been trying to install in their bodies and all this sort of stuff. And you've created this vine. I think you're the only one who has this sort of
definitely
this sort of power.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's definitely like a body mod sort of thing. I think maybe it like ejects from your, in a Spider-Man-ish way or something from your wrist or your.
I was thinking right in the middle, like in between the middle finger and the
middle knuckle.
Yeah, in the knuckles.
It's like you punch it out.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like Wolverine given the middle finger.
I was going to say, if you just like you fire directly upwards, it looks like you're just giving a really long finger to someone, a thing longer.
Yep.
Okay, so what sort of hero are you? A hero? Or are you a villain? Are you a chaotic neutral, kind of just fucking around with things?
I kind of like the idea of being able to take it like that that old game for the PS3. I'll try to remember the game that had the morality system where you had those electric powers.
Oh yeah, like yeah. In so it's an E, I think.
Yeah.
Or is it that it's an Insomnia game? Is that who made it?
No, it's definitely in something.
Second Son. Something. What was it called? I can't remember the subtitle of the sequel, but Infamous.
Infamous.
Yes,
yeah.
Infamous. Yeah,
Kind of like in an infamous way.
Yeah, that could be
You can
cool.
choose to be good or bad. You can take. You've got sort of Spider-Man-y powers. Sit in a Spider-Punk.
Spider-Punk world, yeah.
Cyberpunk
Spider-Punk world,
where-
everything's just got legs and webs everywhere. No, yeah, a Cyberpunk
God.
world, that's cool. Because, I mean, you could do some just really great, like, designs on the city, and, like, how fun is that? Just the neon smearing past you as you swing through the city. I mean,
100%. In your neon loincloth.
Yeah, it's got like flashing LEDs around it and stuff.
It's just that's your original costume, and then you get
you
more
unlock 'em.
things
I mean, it's
as you
basically
go.
just
and
I think the Spider-Man PS5 game, but
but
in
in
Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk
world, then you
world,
can
and
either be a villain or a hero.
you can be good or bad. You're still going through the same sort of story that there's someone trying to take over all of Cyberpunk Landia.
Cyberpunk Landia? Is that what you call it? It's the least. It's like
Cyber
least
City.
Or some. Well, what's a kind of cyberpunkish thing that could be happening? Like maybe there's like an AI, or there's just a oppressive government that's trying to force all movies to be written by AI. And they're called the AMD.
What if there's a virus? What if there's a virus going through people's
through their mods and stuff?
Through the mods and stuff, and so you don't know how it's being spread and all this sort of stuff.
With
and it's
back
either
alley body mods, but it's spreading. It's actually got like if you interface,
and you
with
can
someone
tell
else's
like
mods and operating system.
People have got like black veins coming
anywhere
out
they've
of their
installed
body
stuff,
mods and shit. Like,
that's cool.
Oh, there's something about those body modifications and just how it would work with different computer viruses and that sort of stuff. That it's kind of interesting in the fact that this one happens to have network connectivity, and that's how like you didn't update your virus.
Maybe we bring in a little bit of Watch Dogs-esque into this as well, because then I like the idea of like using your vine, swinging up onto a balcony, and then looking through the window and hacking into someone's operating system on their either in their house or on their body, and being able to like discover stuff about them or trigger things or.
There's something about like when it's not quite all the way there with the cyberpunkish sort of thing. Like this is the dawn of the cyberpunk era, in the fact that people are just getting used to the fact that there are body mods.
Okay, so it's maybe not like it's not like everyone has body mods. But it's growing in popularity.
It's a new trend that is
that's cool.
Yeah. So then you can still have a little bit more of your standard sort of regular Joe, but because it's starting to become a little bit more popular, that's why people are being hacked and all this sort of stuff. They don't quite have the security standards out there yet.
Place yet to have reached that level. Yeah, that's kind of neat. So it's a bit more of you get a bit more of a relatable world, but there is. You can see the area, certain areas of town, like the inner city is becoming, is almost like, what you would think of as a classic cyberpunkish world, and it has all the neon and dark streets and stuff. But as you move a bit further out, it's like, here people are a little bit more conservative. Like they're not the inner city folks who have latched onto this body mod thing, and this lifestyle as much. And so, you get just a bit more of your average Joe. Maybe they've got like a chip in their hand to like tap to pay on the FPOS machines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the first body mod
right?
that most people get, Yeah. Oh, you want to control the lights with a click of your fingers? Yeah. Well, just get the body mod on your fingertips.
That's so that it. And once you've got a couple of things, you have to install, Blood OS, the body operating system, because they need to be able to interface with each other. But that's when you start being open to, hacks and viruses and Trojans.
So I kind of like the idea that our hero / villain, our protagonist in the game, they've maybe lost a hand and they've built a new hand, because they've got some sort of robotic chops, and from
a robotic lamb. You mean
sort of,
some robotic lamb chops.
Yeah. With some robotic mint. Robo mint.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think our
maybe some
person isn't
Robesme. I'm trying to say rosemary and robo.
Yeah. Yes, they're an engineer. They can build shit. And they understand. Yeah, they can hack stuff. Like that's enough. That's all you need in this world to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Or villain. But yeah, I like that idea of having the choice. I think, if you're the hero, obviously you're trying to stop this virus from spreading. If you're the villain, you're maybe trying to take control of it. So that you
or you're trying to stop it so that you can release your own virus.
You're still trying to get to the bottom of who is spreading it, so that you can take the reins or something like that. Yeah.
Love
it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's it.
Brings us to the end of tonight's episode.
A few good games in there with some kind of deep dives. That was nice. So if you would like to listen to all of our other episodes, just go to podchaser.com/bitstorm and check them all out. Leave us a review. Tell us what you think V.I.N.E should stand for. Did we get it right, or did we miss some low-hanging fruit?
Yeah, most likely. If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mad Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by the band Crudust. Check it out at crudust.bandcamp.com.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I was bitten by a podcasting vampire.